What if just 10 days of eating processed food could quietly push your body in the wrong direction? That question became impossible to ignore after nearly 20 pounds of weight gain and blood tests showed rising signs of inflammation and metabolic stress. The problem was not just the extra weight, it was what was happening beneath the surface. That is why a 30-day clean, ketogenic diet became the next step. The goal was not to chase a smaller number on the scale. It was to see whether changing the body's fuel source may help reduce inflammation, may support healthier metabolism, and improve important blood markers. Research suggests that lowering carbohydrate intake can benefit some people, but evidence is still developing, and results vary from person to person. Throughout this journey, every change was measured with blood tests, not hope alone. By the end of these 30 days, the results would reveal whether the body could truly begin to recover from the damage caused by a modern, processed diet. The foundation of a clean, ketogenic diet is surprisingly simple. Instead of relying on carbohydrates as the body's main fuel, the goal is to reduce net carbohydrate intake to about 30 grams per day, eat a moderate amount of protein, and include enough healthy fat to feel satisfied. This shift encourages the body to produce ketones, an alternative fuel that may help support energy needs when glucose becomes limited. Research suggests that nutritional ketosis may support healthy blood sugar control and metabolic flexibility in some adults, although evidence is still developing and individual results can vary. One common misunderstanding is that keto means eating unlimited fat. In reality, healthy keto focuses on eating enough fat to prevent hunger, not as much as possible. The purpose is to help the body rely more on stored fat over time while maintaining balanced nutrition. If you have diabetes, kidney disease, liver disease, or take medications that affect blood sugar, talk with your doctor before making major dietary changes. Understanding this principle makes it much easier to see why the next step in the journey can be so powerful. To make the ketogenic diet even more effective, intermittent fasting became an important part of the 30-day plan. Most days followed OMAD, or one meal a day, while some included 2 meals, creating a fasting window of about 16 to 24 hours. During this time, the body had a chance to lower insulin levels instead of constantly responding to food. Research suggests that allowing insulin to remain lower for longer periods may help the body rely more on stored fat for energy and may support metabolic health in some adults. As ketone production increased, the body gradually became less dependent on glucose as its primary fuel. However, intermittent fasting is not suitable for everyone. People taking diabetes medications, those with certain medical conditions, or anyone who is pregnant or breastfeeding should speak with their doctor before trying it. The goal is not to eat less at all costs, but to give the body enough time between meals to recover and use energy more efficiently before moving to the next step of the journey. One of the biggest mistakes people make is judging success by the number on the scale alone. Weight can change for many reasons, but it does not always reflect what is happening inside the body. That is why this 30-day experiment tracked much more than pounds lost. Blood tests measured fasting insulin, triglycerides, VLDL, HOMA-IR, and liver enzymes including AST, ALT, and LDH before and after the ketogenic diet. Together, these markers may help provide a clearer picture of insulin resistance, inflammation, liver function, and overall metabolic health. Research suggests that improvements in some of these values may support better long-term health, although evidence is still developing and results vary from person to person. Looking beyond body weight made it possible to see whether real metabolic recovery was taking place, not just temporary changes in appearance. If you have diabetes, liver disease, or other chronic conditions, work with your healthcare provider when interpreting blood test results or making significant dietary changes. Not all ketogenic diets are created equal. One of the most important lessons from this 30-day experiment was the difference between clean keto and dirty keto. Eating bacon, butter, and processed meats alone does not automatically create a healthy ketogenic lifestyle. A well-planned clean keto approach focuses on nutrient-dense foods, including leafy greens, low-carb vegetables, extra virgin olive oil, fatty fish, eggs, and high-quality meat. These foods may help provide vitamins, minerals, fiber, and healthy fats that support overall health while maintaining ketosis. Research suggests that choosing minimally processed foods may support better metabolic health than relying heavily on processed, low-carb products, although evidence is still developing. For people who are sensitive to dairy or refined grains, limiting those foods may also be beneficial. The goal is not simply to reduce carbohydrates, but to improve food quality, because the healthiest ketogenic diet is built on nourishing the body, not just changing the numbers on a nutrition label. Choosing the right foods is one of the keys to maintaining nutritional ketosis while still providing the body with essential nutrients. Throughout this 30-day journey, meals were built around simple, whole foods rather than processed low-carb products. Large salads topped with beef, chicken, or fish were paired with extra virgin olive oil, while eggs, steak, broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, avocado, guacamole, and other non-starchy vegetables became daily staples. These foods may help provide high-quality protein, healthy fats, fiber, vitamins, and minerals without adding large amounts of carbohydrates. Research suggests that nutrient-dense, minimally processed foods may support better metabolic health and help promote satiety, making it easier for some people to stay consistent with a ketogenic lifestyle. However, evidence is still developing, and individual responses can differ. A balanced keto plan is not about eating less food. It is about choosing foods that nourish the body while supporting ketosis. If you have chronic health conditions or dietary restrictions, consult your healthcare provider before making major changes to your eating pattern. One of the most common misconceptions about the ketogenic diet is that eating more fat always leads to better results. In reality, ketosis is driven primarily by reducing carbohydrate intake, not by consuming unlimited amounts of fat. When carbohydrates remain low, the body gradually shifts toward using stored fat and producing ketones as an alternative fuel source. Healthy fats play an important role, but they should be eaten only until you feel comfortably satisfied. Eating far more fat than your body needs may reduce the demand to use stored body fat for energy. Research suggests that maintaining a calorie balance while keeping carbohydrates low may help support fat loss and metabolic health in some people, although evidence is still developing. The goal is not to fear fat or overeat it. It is to create the right conditions for the body to burn its own energy reserves more efficiently. If you have diabetes or take medications that affect blood sugar, consult your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes or starting a ketogenic diet. Many people assume that foods such as bacon, butter, and eggs are automatically harmful because they contain saturated fat. However, the picture is more complex than that. According to the approach used in this 30-day experiment, the larger concern may be insulin resistance rather than saturated fat alone. When carbohydrate intake is reduced and intermittent fasting is used appropriately, insulin levels may remain lower for longer periods. Research suggests this metabolic shift may help the body burn fat more efficiently and may support healthier energy use in some individuals, although evidence is still developing. This does not mean everyone should eat unlimited amounts of saturated fat. Food quality, overall diet, activity level, and personal health all remain important. A balanced ketogenic diet should still emphasize whole, minimally processed foods while using saturated fats in moderation. If you have high cholesterol, heart disease, diabetes, or other medical conditions, discuss any major dietary changes with your healthcare provider. Understanding the role of insulin helps explain why metabolism, not just fat intake, is an important part of the story. After following this ketogenic approach for 30 days, the results extended well beyond the number on the scale. Body weight decreased from approximately 92.2 kilograms to about 85.7 kilograms, but the most meaningful changes were seen in key metabolic health markers. Fasting insulin, triglycerides, VLDL, HOMA-IR, and liver enzymes including AST, ALT, and LDH all showed noticeable improvement, with several values returning to or approaching healthy ranges. Research suggests that improvements in these markers may help reflect better insulin sensitivity, healthier liver function, and reduced metabolic stress, although evidence is still developing and individual outcomes can vary. This highlights an important lesson. Successful lifestyle changes should be measured by both internal health and external appearance. While losing weight can be encouraging, improving metabolic function may provide even greater long-term health benefits. Anyone considering a ketogenic diet, especially those with diabetes, liver disease, or other chronic conditions, should work with a healthcare provider to monitor progress safely through regular blood testing. Perhaps the most inspiring lesson from this 30-day journey is that the human body has an incredible ability to recover when given the right support. Just 10 days of unhealthy eating appeared to produce noticeable changes in metabolic health. Yet consistent lifestyle changes helped reverse many of those trends in only about 1 month. By following a well-planned ketogenic diet, practicing intermittent fasting, and regularly monitoring important blood markers, the body may begin to restore healthier metabolic function. Research suggests that reducing insulin resistance and improving nutrition may help support the body's natural repair processes, although evidence is still developing and individual results can vary. This experience serves as a reminder that it is never too late to make healthier choices. Every nutritious meal and every positive habit can become another step toward better health. Rather than focusing on perfection, aim for steady progress and work closely with your healthcare provider, especially if you have diabetes, liver disease, or other chronic medical conditions.